Back in 2017, I was preparing to do a TEDx talk. I was initially excited about the talk and genuinely interested in preparing for success. As the date got closer, I realized that a TED Talk is much different than a regular speech or presentation, and it would take a much greater commitment on my side. I began to feel some anxiety and found I was looking for reasons to reduce the expectations or lower what I defined as success. I started telling people that I'm not very good at a TED-style talk and had never done anything like this before. I said, don't expect much since this is all new to me. Essentially, I was creating a pre-excuse and increasing the likelihood of failure. If I did well in the talk, I could take full credit for doing better than expected. But if I didn't do very well, I already had a built-in excuse. It seemed like a win-win situation to me. I later realized that this is a common behavior and it's referred to as self-handicapping. I've found that this is a practice that leads to significant underachievement. In 1978, Stephen Berglass and Edward Jones defined self-handicapping as putting an obstacle or handicap in the way of your own success. If you fail, then the failure can be blamed on the handicap rather than your lack of effort or lack of ability. If you succeed despite the handicap, then you can claim extra credit for success because you overcame the obstacle or handicap. This happens almost daily in our professional and personal lives, as we constantly make excuses in advance of completing a task so that our failure is not our fault. Researchers believe that self-handicapping is caused by feelings of uncertainty about future performance, especially when others have high expectations of success. Self-handicapping appears to be a self-protective mechanism, protecting one's self-confidence from the damaging effects of failure. If one fails, a self-handicapper can blame failure on external causes and can thus protect self-confidence. If one succeeds, a self-handicapper can take full credit for succeeding despite external obstacles and increasing someone's worth in the eyes of others. In a company where self-handicapping is prevalent, you might find employees that continually fall short of strategic outcomes and fail to complete their strategic actions. You'll see lower personal achievement and lower motivation across the board. A lack of accountability will exist since failures are blamed on external impacts. You'll also see self and team sabotage and increased failure throughout the organization. While self-handicapping is prevalent at work, it also takes hold in our personal lives. For many, self-handicapping evolved from childhood experiences where one was able to reduce expectations and receive reinforcement or positive feedback from others. This becomes a shadow behavior where risk is mitigated by not taking or modifying actions and behaviors to overcome obstacles, but simply just lowering expectations. If self-handicapping can hold people, teams, and companies back, how do you recognize it in yourself and others? Here are some signs of self-handicapping that need to be addressed when present. A word of caution: try to avoid thinking about others and think about this as it relates to you. The first sign of self-handicapping is really not trying hard. You probably know when you're trying hard or you're not trying hard. Then there's procrastination. What about looking for and calling out distractions that shift your focus? Blaming others rather than yourself? Making poor outcomes seem better in comparison to something else? This is a big one. Think about that one for a second. And finally, lowering expectations for the future. Referencing the focus spectrum, most of these points are consistent with red side focus. Self-handicapping can become part of the company's culture and personal habits. Friends and colleagues can encourage this behavior by allowing others to create excuses in advance of potential failure. They feel bad about challenging someone to find an alternative path to success. A problem identified is really a problem solved. If someone or you can predetermine an excuse for failing, they or you can also develop an alternative plan for success. Don't let self-handicapping become a behavior or even worse, a habit with you.